What is up guys, Sinky, S1 Star Trek Fleet Command, and about 5-6 months ago I did a beginner's guide hints and tips video, but I thought I'd go a bit further in depth with a series of beginner's guides that I'm going to start doing now. This one is all based around your home base, well, hence the title of the video. So what we're going to do is go through each of the buildings and explain more about the purposes of each building, starting off with your operations center. Now the operations center actually has two functions. One is listed here, which for each of the levels that you upgrade, as you can see here, increases the weapon damage bonus of all your ships by 1%. So I'm currently on 22% bonus weapon damage for all my ships, next level 23, etc, etc. But what it doesn't actually show you here is it's actually got a second purpose. Each time you level your operations center up, it levels yourself up. So your actual level is based around your operations center. So as soon as you reach level 15, your station is then open for PvP for other players to actually raid your station. Next building is the academy. So each time you actually level up your academy, it increases your officer stat bonus by 1%. Now if you want to know what your officer stat bonuses are, you can literally just go and click officers up there to look at your officers and just have a look around about which officers you want on the ships. If you actually look on my channel, I did actually do a video explaining about the officers. I'm not going to go into that again because it's quite long-winded. So next up is the R&D department. This is where you actually do all the research for your ships as well as your station. Now in the combat tab, this is where you get to unlock your explorers, your interceptors, your battleships, as well as upgrading stats for those ships, as well as say increasing the damage that your weapons do, increasing your hull HP and your shielding, which is kind of useful. The other tab is for your station. This is actually where you unlock your survey ships, as well as increasing, say, your dilithium fusion, your titanium, and your pastille, which is your resources at the top there. So that increases the amount they generate. It also has other functions such as decreasing the time that it takes to repair your ships. Now there are different repair sections, say your interceptor, your explorer, as well as your battleships. So it's best to upgrade those as much as possible, as quick as possible, to reduce the actual repair time. Now also actually increases your defense for your station, for your defense platform. So increases your shielding, your hull intensity, as well as the weapon damage. Now there's actually a lot of different things that you can actually increase through the station research. So it can actually increase your building efficiency, so it reduces the build time to upgrade your building to the next tier, reduces the research costs, i.e. reducing how much resources it takes to actually upgrade each different research section. The next building is the Astronautic Studio. This here, each time you level up, it actually reduces the cost for all your researches, as you can see, by 3% per level. So it basically reduces the amount of resources it takes to learn a new research. The next building here is the Defense Technologies. Now what this does, as you can clearly see, defense platform damage bonus up 1% per level. So that increases the amount of damage that your defense platforms do for incoming player attacks. Next up is the ship hangar. Now this has two functions. One increases the hull health bonus of your ships by 3% per level, as well as increasing the ship inventory slot by 1 per level. So what it is in case people back in the day were worried if you created too many ships, you wouldn't be able to delete the ships and you couldn't create any more ships. Well, that was actually blown out the window when people actually saw the ship hangar. So each time you level up, you can actually have another ship in the slot. So you could have, say, 5 envoys if you really wanted, and not have to worry about too many slots, because honestly at level 22, which I'm right now, there's no way I'm going to be even close to having 36 ships. The next building is the shipyard. Now this actually has two functions again. Ship construction speed, so it decreases the amount of time that actually takes to actually build a brand new ship by 3% per level that you level up, but also the tier up speed by 3%. So each time that you get to tier up your ship, it actually decreases the time it takes by 3% each time you level up the shipyard. I will explain that in another video and show you about tiering up a ship. Now the next building is the refinery, and I kind of think that this is one of the most important buildings in your home base. Now you may notice there is no stats there, because what it is when you send ships out, you survey ships for mining and bring back raw materials. This is where you actually refine it, and what you do is when you refine it, it turns it into common or uncommon materials. Now this is very important because this is actually what you use to tier up your ships. I will go over that in a later video. Now, as you actually upgrade your refinery, you'll start with 1 batch for 3,000, and when you upgrade it further, it will open up the 2 batch, then 3 batch. Personally, I would say avoid the 3 batch, because 50k for 3 batches is actually quite excessive. I always usually do 2 batches for 15k, or for 2k for the G3. Now, I haven't actually got enough to do 2 batches because, honestly, I don't actually use G2 anymore. But I'm going to do a refine just to show you why it's very important to keep an eye on this. That's over here. As you can see, it's got a 10-hour cooldown. So you need to make sure that you've always got your raw materials to refine, and make sure that you do it every 10 hours, because these materials are really important to upgrade and tier up your ships. I will go over that in a future tutorial video for the beginner's guide, but for now, that's what that does. Next up are here. These are all your resource generators that actually generate in your base without having to go out and mine. Now this base here, the first one, on each of these for your Pasteel, Tritanium and Dilithium, these are your storage houses. This is basically the capacity that it can store from generating materials in your home base, which are these here. As you see, these lot here, these actually generate materials when you're below the actual storage threshold. Now with Pasteel, I can store up to 360 generated by these here. Doesn't actually count from when I'm out mining in the galaxy. So these here actually generate by themselves in the home base. As soon as you've actually reached a capacity in the storage here, here and here, you can't actually generate more. But as soon as you go under the storage cap, you actually see it pop up here to be able to generate materials to get back to the cap. Now the second building here, here and here, this is actually your protected amount. So if somebody does decide to raid your base, they no matter what, you will always have a protected amount of materials here. So if somebody raided me right now with my Pasteel, they could take everything bar 400,000 Pasteel. Now that actually protection value does go up with the research from the R&D department. So if you upgrade your protected amount, they can't actually take everything. So with this amount of being 400,000, if I upgrade my research for my Pasteel protection, as you saw earlier, I could actually protect more than 400,000 if somebody decided to raid my home base. Now what we're going to do is go to the exterior of my home base. Now straight off, you're going to see these little cannons here. These here are the defense platforms. Now, as you can see, with each level that you upgrade these, I've got to do some upgrading, I know, increases the power level. Now, these are the defense platforms that you saw in the R&D with upgrading the shielding, the hull, and the amount of power they hit by. So these are what actually protect your station. So if somebody was to raid me, they'd have to get past these guns here first of all. The other section here, as you can see, I've got one upgrade in here. These are your docks. Now you get one dry dock up first, then you get to unlock them as you level up. So at the moment I've got 3 docks open, and I think it's level 28 I open dock D. But as you can see here, upgrading your docks, repair speed bonus is increased. So each time you level it up, it takes less time to repair ships when damaged, and also the repair cost efficiency goes up 4% each time, so it reduces the amount of materials that it actually takes to repair your ships. So that's it. That's all the buildings I can show for now. As I say, this is for a beginner's guide. So if you're under level 22, this is what you're going to see when you do get to level 2. If you found the video useful, please leave a like. If there's anything you need to know, leave it in the comments section. But if you did enjoy and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I shall catch you guys next time. Toodles!